Good morning, Lemonheads, Lemon Nation, a big stretch. Last night was a doozy for me. Hold on one second. Hey, Siri, turn on Do Not Disturb. Last night was a doozy because my little senior doggy, Gus, who's usually wandering around here somewhere, just had a rough night. If you have a senior dog, you know what I'm talking about. They get grumpy at night sometimes. I don't know what's going on with them, but hey, you love them. You got to do whatever. So anyway, not much sleep last night, but I'm glad he's still here. You know, you guys remember he's the one that had pneumonia, not this past Christmas, but the holiday before. We didn't think he was going to make it, but he is still here, still running around and driving us crazy. But you know, we love it. Okay, so there's a dog in the background. That's Boomer, who is and even if I call him Boomer, he won't come. He's just chilling. He's like, do your work. It's really weird. The dogs know the routine. Like they know when I'm getting ready to work. They know when I'm going out. Like they try to follow us sometimes if we go out during the day, but then in the evening, they know we're going out to dinner. They don't even try. It's like they're so smart, right? Yep. So anyways, welcome everybody to the show. First order of business, make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the thumbs up because it does affect the algorithm. Do you guys hear that? Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
You know what that is, right?
Radiator.
It's a radiator. If you live in New York, you know, that means the heat's coming up and it's a little chilly in here. So that's a good thing. You guys know that sound when the water or the steam is coming up or whatever it is. Yep. Heard the radiator and there it is. It's clicked in and yeah, feel like getting warm. So anyways, and that's why when I'm always clearing my throat or blowing my nose, it's because also these radiators are so dry. So you have to have a humidifier, but I don't know if there's a humidifier big enough to take care of that. So anyways, like and thumbs up. It affects you. Put the like and subscribe thing up for me, Andy. It does affect the algorithm, please. And more people become aware of our content. So that little thumb, it looks like that on the YouTube. Okay. And so make sure you hit that. And it is, I think it's when it's dark on the thing. That means that's when you hit it. Okay. So don't hit it twice because then you'll undo it. But there you go. So like and subscribe. Also, Andy, let's just tell folks while we're here, since we're here, I see someone saying something about my old network and a lot of people agree. Since we are here, I just want to tell you guys so that we don't wait till the end of the show and maybe we'll do it again, but it's we are nominated on this show for 4 NAACP Image Awards, which is a very big deal. And so look, it's a big deal that we're nominated, but yes, well, we'd like to win. Yes. Is it going to be a tough climb? I'll tell you. Yeah, because we're going up against major broadcast networks who have millions and millions of eyes on them every day and on their websites and on their broadcasting and the radio and if they're on cable, whatever, and they can promote people because this is by vote. But you know, we're the little engine that could. We're David, they're Goliath, and so perhaps we stand a chance. So all you have to do is go to donlemon.com. Here it is, donlemon.com, and it just in order as we have them. So you go to donlemon.com and you click on one where it says outstanding podcast, and look, every 24 hours it resets. So there you go. So we can vote again. So you hit vote, right? And then you go back out to donlemon.com and you go to 2, and it's outstanding podcast news and information, and then you hit vote, and that turns it red or orange or yeah. And then you go back to donlemon.com, you hit 3, outstanding news and information series, a special, and you hit vote. And then you back out to donlemon.com and then you hit 4, outstanding host in a talk or news information. And then you hit Don, turns it red, and then you go back out to donlemon.com and then you go to 5 and you scroll all the way to the bottom to the register or whatever, submit now, and you hit submit now, and then it'll see that box pops up and you can check. If you scroll through Andy in that top box, and you can see, like, are these the ones you want? It says all 4 say Don Lemon, make sure there are 4, it says, and they say Don Lemon, and then you hit submit, and I think you have to put in your email or something, and look, and you can do it every 24 hours. It resets. You hit submit, and then there you go. It will set. Okay. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And also remember, on February 3rd and 4th, man, I'm going to be traveling so crazy. February 3rd and 4th, D.L. Hughley and I are going to be at City Winery. You can go to donlemon.com as well, and you can click on there and get some tickets. Atlanta is sold out on the 17th and 18th, and our tour is coming up. Okay, so do that. Backtodonlemon.com. Also, if you want to know where I get this, that is on our merch page on this thing. So that's our mug. And then people ask me about this is a Stanley, right? So I have a hot tea in there, but this is what we call the Donley on the program. They were sold out, I'm not sure, but I keep my cold water in that one. Okay, so there you go. So thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a great day. Okay. No sooner did we have like, oh, this is going to be a kumbaya. Oh my gosh, kumbaya. Let me know where you're streaming from, by the way. Someone says, I'm drinking out of my Don Lemon mug now. That's great. Thank you so much. I got to get my old people be knowing mug. Okay, so no sooner did we have like, it looks like not necessarily a truce, but some sort of where they were gonna rejigger or like at least try to work together in Minnesota. And no, that's not happening. But should I do it? Did you guys get the thing that Peter said he was going to get for me just in case?
No, we don't have it yet.
Didn't get it? Okay, I'll do it. The girls are fighting. Put the thumbnail up. The girls are fighting. And you know who's fighting? Kristi Noem and Stephen Miller are fighting. And that's what we have on the thumbnail. With backstabbers or whatever it is that we have on the thumbnail. They are fighting. Wait, I mean, it is juicy. So if you guys don't have some tea, we're going to give you the tea this morning. I'm going to pour some more tea in my thing. Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem are, y'all hear that? My tea, the tea is pouring. Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem are like this. No, you, no, you, no, it was you, no, it's you, no, it's you. I did not say it was you. They are fighting. Backstabber alert, turning on their own. And guess who's right in the middle? The head honcho who starts all the fighting. That's crazy. I wonder who's going to get the most, who's going to be smeared the most with like lipstick or hair products. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this. Before Stephen Miller decided to shave his head, do you guys remember that? And he had the little hair around here, and then he would fill the top in with Topics, you know, the little powder or the stuff that you put on your hair to make it dark. And then when he was standing out in the rain one day doing a live shot, and his started to drip. His hair started to melt. You guys remember that? Anybody? See if you can find that, producers. When Stephen Miller's hair melts in the rain. You guys remember? Thank you. Someone else remembers that, right? There's someone in the chat says, I remember that. Like Rudy Giuliani, when he was standing there and like the orange and black was like pouring down his face. Okay. Stephen had enhancements. I don't know if he had enhancements, but I remember when his hair melted. And you know, Kristi Noem has had enhancements because if you've seen the picture of her before and after, then you know. But she's always with a face full of makeup and preening and pruning. And as a matter of fact, the New York Post said yesterday she needs to stop her. I guess what they call her. They kind of said preening and pruning and her photo ops and all that, where she goes out and she's on the horse or she's on the jet ski or whatever it is on the boat. And well, I mean, look at her. So I wonder who would get all smudged up. It would be like Alexis and Crystal in the lily pond. What was the name of their house in Denver? Fighting. I mean, fighting. So let's start off with the fighting part, okay? Let's see. What do we have? Do we have a headline? So they are blaming each other. I think it's the Axios report. There's an Axios report about how they're fighting, and it's Mark Caputo. Mark Caputo is putting it is great journalism, Mark Caputo. I wish you could get Mark on the Mark, we're trying to get you. Blame game erupts over Trump team's false claim Alex Pretti sought massacre. And this is Mark Caputo. And so let's read in a little bit. We will read in, and then we're going to give you a report that really sums it up over on the with the Aaron Burnett, my friend, over on the CNN. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is under fire for issuing misleading and incendiary information that claimed immigration agents killed an armed Minnesota protester Saturday because he wanted to massacre them. That language has now become a source of controversy in the Trump administration. White House officials are blaming Customs and Border Patrol for furnishing inaccurate information, while others are targeting Stephen Miller. White House Deputy Chief of Staff and top Trump advisor. 6 sources with knowledge of the situation told Axios. Now, when you have 6 sources, usually they're like, okay, you know, I trust your source. You're always right. We'll give you a single source approval. We would like to have another source. If you have 2, Robin Castro says she trying to look good for Trump. Or Corey Lewandowski. I'm just saying. Zip. Anyways, yeah. So White House Deputy Chief of Staff and top advisor Stephen Miller, 6 sources with knowledge of that situation told Axios. Why does this matter? It matters because the episode illustrates the confusion that gripped the administration after the Saturday shooting death of Minnesota protester Alex Pretti. And it shows the influence of Miller, Trump's close and longest-serving political advisor, whose dominion in the White House far exceeds his title. Put that last comment back up. Dude, what did that last comment say? Dude looked like a cousin It starter kit. Let me know if you found that when his hair starts to melt. So everything I've done, here it is. Okay, you guys are ready? This is Kristi Noem. Okay. Everything I've done at the direction of the president. And Stephen Noem told a person who relayed her remarks to Axios. Now, shouldn't the president be capitalized there? I'm not sure. I don't know what the rule book says. So here's where they're zooming in. Immediately after Pretti was fatally shot in Minneapolis, about 10:05 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday, administration officials in Washington knew they had a potential disaster on their hands, but had little information. The officers directly involved in the shooting all shut up and got lawyers real quick. So there wasn't a lot of information. One source briefed on the statement said, they got lawyers real quick, huh? But they're not allowing other people to investigate, but they were able. Here's the thing. They were able to do what? They have the right to, not that they were arrested, but the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. Okay, so they are what? Entitled to and are receiving their due process rights. The exact same thing that they are denying many of the people, if not most, that they are rounding up. So it is justice, the Constitution, and due process for me, but not for thee. Do you guys feel me, what I'm saying? Why are they getting lawyers if they, thank you very much, Soka Kid, which I think is South California kid. Why, if they have complete immunity, why are they getting attorneys? If they didn't do anything wrong, you know, they have the right to. Maybe they knew this was coming. So they have every right to get an attorney. And people would say, all right, it's pretty smart to do that. But what I'm saying is, why are you allowed your due process rights and not to, your due process rights to get an attorney, not to say anything, to take the fifth, all those things, but the very people you are out there rounding up, you are not doing that for them. That's why you're in this trouble. As I say to you, karma's a bitch. I know it's a cliche, and what's done in darkness will always come to light. And the thing, I mean, some of it's done in darkness, but the shit you're doing in the light is going to get more light on it, a big spotlight on it, the sunshine. So they know that they fucked up. And that's why they went and got an attorney. Stephen Kroons, who's just on the thing, says because they're guilty. Look, I don't know if they seem like they are. If you look at the video, that's what it shows. So all of them shut up real quick, and then they're not allowing local and state investigators they're not giving them access to any of the information. They're not allowing them to investigate. What kind of shit is that? That's not how it's supposed to work. The CBP officers on the ground furnished a report that White House officials told Axios left officials with the belief that Pretti had brandished a gun. Now, when you come from a rogue administration or a rogue regime, I like the alliteration, rogue regime, and lying is part of the, what do they say? It's not the whatever, it's not the glitch, it's the whatever it is. That's what this is. That's what lying is part of. Miller heard gun and knew what the narrative would be. Pretti came to massacre cops. A source briefed on the process of assembling the press statement said. Now, you guys know I've been going over it saying, they went over this. And if you can find me the thing, I think it was from Anderson's show, of them saying the exact same thing. I think we played it yesterday or the day before, but find it. I know we have it. Sorry, producers. And so the process of assembling a press statement said that Miller, now I would not be beyond him to do something like this. If you have heard him speak and if you have had any interaction or encounters with him, Miller heard gun and knew what the narrative would be. Pretti came to massacre cops, a source briefed on the process of assembling the press statement said. Any early comments made were based on information sent to the White House through CBP, Customs and Border Patrol. Miller told Axios in response to an earlier version of this story in which others blamed him for the massacre statement. For the massacre statements. You can show the stuff, the videos of them mocking him or whatever. So let's see Stephen Miller. Let's see the Stephen Miller hair thing. Do we have
the Colbert one?
Sure, why not? I know they're joking around with him, but let's see it because it did happen. I just want to show proof that it happened. Also, the one from Anderson Cooper, if you haven't, I'll get back to it, from the 360 of him.
Now, folks, we haven't heard a lot lately from White House senior advisor and man who someday neighbors will describe as a quiet guy kept to himself, Stephen Miller. But this weekend, Miller emerged from his secret lair for an interview on Face the Nation. He started out by enforcing the administration's strict rules on holiday greetings.
Good to have you here in studio.
Great to be here. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to you.
Miller's not exactly a people person, but he's trying to make a connection. Merry Christmas. What a warm holiday feeling we mutually have, parumpa-pum-pum. Now, Trump has been threatening to shut down the government for a while over the border wall. And Miller defended it and then went off on some judges.
We're going to do whatever is necessary to build the border wall to stop this ongoing crisis of illegal immigration.
And that means
this is a very, if it comes to it, absolutely. One of the great tragedies that is going on in our country today.
You guys saw that. Did you see his hair? Anyways. Keep going.
It's the loopholes in our immigration laws and the deficiencies in our immigration laws and left-wing activist judicial rulings that incentivize the most vulnerable populations to come to our country.
It's true. He's right. There's one left-wing activist who spends all day incentivizing the vulnerable standing in New York Harbor. I don't know if she's a judge, but she's got a robe and a flaming gavel.
I don't think that's a hairpiece, y'all. I don't think that's a hairpiece. Someone said it's a hairpiece. Keep going.
Heard he sang over the sound of you looking at his sprayed-on hair. He looks like Eddie Munster and the Count from Sesame Street had a baby, and then the baby went bald. Now, as a reminder, this is how Stephen Miller normally looks. There has not been a right-wing propagandist with fake hair that obvious since Joseph Goebbels tried a weave. I got to salute the hair and makeup team over at Face the Nation. Because before he went on the air, he turned to them and said, "How do I look?" Good. You look good.
That's no. So I thought we would find it, but I mean, there is actually something. I do believe his hair was melting during a live shot. But anyways, I digress. So he's saying in this Axios report, they're saying that was a nice little fun break there. In this Axios report, they are saying Stephen Miller is responding, saying he was the one, right, that everything had been approved. Put it back up. Let's put the thing up, the report. That everything had been approved through Yeah. His report said others within the White House attempted to clean up the DHS. Now, where's the part about Stephen Miller? Is that back a little bit? There we go. There we go. And earlier comments were made based on information sent to the White House through CBP, Miller told Axios in response to an earlier version of the story. Okay, so were they not on the same page? Because it sure seems like Bovino and Kristi Noem were speaking directly from the exact same script. Roll it.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun.
The officers attempted to disarm this individual,
disarm the individual,
but the armed suspect
but he
violently
resisted, fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers.
An agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately,
delivered medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene.
This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage.
Where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
Okay.
This individual.
You get my point. Now, let me just put the accessing thing. Thank you, Andy. This wasn't 5 minutes after it happened. This wasn't in the heat. This was a minute. Like they had to come up with this strategy and then put together a press briefing, get all the press there for each of those particular press briefings. And so they had time to look at that video. They had time to get some information. Now it's still early on, but for them to come up with that, and then Stephen Miller to say, this was all approved. I don't know if we have Stephen Miller's tweet, but Stephen Miller called the man an assassin in a tweet. And so for him to say, everything was, the White House went through CBP. Okay. But you called the man an assassin. This is Stephen Miller, right? Responding to Chris Murphy, who's saying ICE must leave Minneapolis. Congress should not fund this version of ICE that is seeking confirmation, chaos, and dystopia. Okay. And then Stephen Miller responds to that. And then JD Vance, by the way, reposted it. An assassin tried to murder federal agents, and this is your response. Now, was that approved by CBP? Stephen Miller, for you to call the man an assassin, was that approved? Everything, go back to Axios, please. Everything in this administration, there's always videotape or a tweet that contradicts what they're saying. The same thing is when Caroline Leavitt gets up there every day and says, lie. But Caroline, go Bob. And you're like, wait a minute, I said Bob, you're done. Like, so they should just shut up and let the person say, no, Bob is not finished, Caroline. Well, you don't want to go, whatever. Okay, well, I want to ask Bob's question. Bob, what's your question? You don't know. And then every day do that until she gets frustrated and she has to walk away. And then they will come up with some sort of strategy for follow-ups because they like that show. They don't want to shut that show down. That's what the reporters don't understand. Is if you challenge them every single day. Thank you, Stephen Crooms, for your generosity of gifting a membership. You can gift memberships. If you're already a member, you can gift a membership. So thank you, or gift memberships. And people do it all the time, especially my legends. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Maureen and others. Okay, so all they have to do is, if they keep doing that every single day, they will get frustrated. And the White House will have to figure out some sort of way to respond or to rejigger so that people will take follow-up questions, but they're afraid to do it. And they don't want to shut that show down, that dog and pony show down, because that's part of the show rundown every day that they're putting on. It's like Celebrity White House. And if you deny them that part of the show, they're going to go, oh, shit, what do? We just can't have the sycophants in there because there's not enough drama. There's not enough back and forth, and they need the back and forth. So if either you allow our follow-ups or we're out. We can get better reporting without you. We don't need you to tell us every day and be stenographers for what you say. Nobody cares. What she says plays well in the Fox News world, and it gets people all riled up, but it never means anything. Think about it. It never means anything and it never sticks. So what is the point? Because 5 minutes later, in the other part of the show, after the break, Donald Trump in the Oval Office for another dog and pony show, right? So that's the thing that penetrates because he says something stupid. He fights with Zelensky. He calls a reporter dumb. He contradicts what Caroline Levitt says, or he says something where they all have to clean up. So that part, perhaps they should keep that part in because but then does that ever stick? And then don't forget, okay, well, today on this episode, after the break, he's going to walk to the helicopter. He's going to give you another show. You guys think I'm crazy, right? I'm telling you, I'm giving you the truth. This is what's happening. And so they could fix that Caroline Levitt thing, but they don't want to. Okay, so any comment made, back now to Stephen Miller. So, and then go down to the friction point. Here's the friction point. The DHS posted the statement thank you, Mark Caputo. There was time. This thing happened at 10. And this is like 12. And so they had some time. DHS posted the statement at 12:31 p.m. on X. Some White House officials had signed off on the statement, but others had not, leaving them frustrated. Others within the White House attempted to clean up the DHS statement prior to it being sent, but it had already been disseminated, said another source familiar with the episode. President Trump was kept apprised of the statement by Miller and Noem's top advisor, Corey Lewandowski. They travel a lot together. One of Trump's top former campaign managers in 2016, according to two sources. Minutes after the DHS statement, Miller posted on X and called Pretti an assassin. I told you that. Which a source said was also based on a preliminary report from Customs and Border Patrol. Vice President Vance then reposted it on his page. Noem subsequently used the language at a news conference, as did the Border Patrol commander, then overseeing operations in the Twin Cities, Greg Bovino. Bovino should be blamed for the misinformation about Pretti, not Stephen, a White House source said, adding that Bovino supplied the details about the shooting to those in D.C. During her news conference, Noem also inaccurately suggested Pretti was brandishing his weapon, although video showed he never reached for his weapon and had been disarmed before he was shot. Now, here is the report I need you to watch. But first, I need you to watch this report. And this is from my friend Aaron Burnett. But first, let me get 2 minutes in, a word from our sponsors, and we'll come back and show it to you. Support comes from Shopify. Now, when I started the Don Lemon Show, I had to figure out everything at once. Scripts, setups, filming, logos, merch, all of it. It was overwhelming. Every day brought another decision, another task, another thing pulling at my attention. Well, that's why the right tool matters. And for millions of businesses, that tool is Shopify. Shopify powers millions of brands worldwide and about 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from global companies to people just getting started. So here at the Don Lemon Show, we use Shopify to bring you the merch you love. You don't need to be a designer or a tech expert. Shopify offers beautiful, ready-to-use templates, plus built-in AI tools that help with product descriptions, images, and even discount codes. They also help you find customers with email and social campaigns while handling inventory, shipping, and returns. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. So start your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/lemon. That's shopify.com/lemon. Support comes from Lean. Everybody's talking about weight loss injections because the results, well, they look dramatic. They lower blood pressure and they reduce appetite, but not everyone wants weekly injections or the side effects that can come with them. That's why doctors created a weight loss supplement called Lean. Lean is designed to support healthy blood sugar, help your body burn fat by converting it into energy, and curb appetite and cravings, so you're not constantly hungry. This is important. Lean isn't for everyone, isn't for someone trying to lose just a few pounds. It was created for frustrated dieters with 10 pounds or more to lose, people who've tried everything and need real support. So Lean works best alongside healthy eating and regular movement, helping your efforts go further instead of fighting your body. Right now, you can get 20% off plus free rush shipping. Just go to takelean.com and use the promo code LEMON. That's TAKELEAN.com, and the promo code is LEMON. All right. Thank you so much to our sponsors. Okay, I'm just looking to see if there's anything breaking. Team, let me know if there are any new developments, because they come fast and furious and quickly and feverishly all the time with this administration. Okay, so here's the report that sums up all of the mishigas that is happening with the White House And at the end of the day, I'll tell you what it means at the end of the day, but here it is. Here's the report.
Yeah, Aaron, this is quite stunning coming from Stephen Miller, who, of course, has been one of the most hardline immigration enforcers when it comes to President Trump's administration. He is essentially conceding or acknowledging that there might have been a breach of protocol when it comes to the shooting of Alex Pretti. And just a reminder, this is the same person who said that Pretti in the aftermath was a would-be assassin. This is what the statement says, and he lays this out very clearly. It says that the White House provided clear guidance to DHS that the extra personnel that had been sent to Minnesota to force protection should be used for conducting fugitive operations to create a physical barrier between the arrest teams and the disruptor teams. It goes on to say, we are evaluating why the CBP team may not have been following that protocol. So that's the first piece of news that we're learning here from Miller. The White House is looking into this and that they're acknowledging there might have been a breach of protocol. But there's more here. We had learned that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem had been in constant touch with the White House leading up to her press conference, leading up to the first tweet that DHS put out about the shooting of Alex Pretti. She had been talking to Miller. She had been talking to a number of various officials. She had briefed them on how she was going to comport herself when she got up there. Here's what Miller said about that. Said, the initial statement from DHS was based on reports from CBP on the ground. The reason why that is notable is that he is not disputing that he gave talking points to Noem, that the White House was behind that, but instead they are saying that they got that information, that he got his information from reports on the ground from CBP officials, now saying they're evaluating if there was wrongdoing by those agents.
Basically, what I said, what this means at the end of the day, is that this administration is incompetent, is that they don't know what they're doing. And it's not just me saying that now, it's members of the Republican Party saying it as well, that they are incompetent, don't know what they're doing, should be replaced. The whole lot of them. I mean, look, I didn't think that Donald Trump was fit to be president, right? Especially being convicted of 34 criminal counts, the 34 counts. But it's, and I said on Monday, like, you should fire everybody, Donald Trump. I mean, they didn't need you to, you didn't need their help in making you look bad. You're doing a good enough job on your own, but they are not helping the case. They're making you look worse. All of them, from Stephen Miller to Pam Bondi to the people in her office to Kristi Noem, Greg Bovino. And then if you get, Tom Holman, who's the voice of reason, I mean, look, the bar must be really, really, really low. So Tom Tillis is he's not running again, but he's a Republican. And in a moment of candor, I guess, because he doesn't have to worry about it, constituents or people voting for him anymore, he's being very honest. Here he is.
I think that what she's done in Minnesota should be disqualifying. She should be out of the job. And I mean, really, it's just amateurish. It's terrible. It's making the president look bad on policies that he won on. He won on a strong message about immigration. And now nobody's talking about that. They're not talking about securing the border. They're talking about the incompetence of the leader of Homeland Security and the other people, Bovino, whatever his name is. He needs to go back to California, get his retirement papers, and go. These people are amateurs. They got to de-escalate there and treat these communities with some respect. How did you?
Did you hear that? Again, that is from a Republican. Lisa Murkowski, Republican as well. She is not quite as blunt as Tillis, but she does say her piece. Here it is. And she regrets voting for Kristi Noem's confirmation. Here it is.
Senator, do you have faith in Kristi Noem as DHS Secretary?
I've already made a statement on that.
Oh, I wasn't there for it?
Yeah, I said that I've lost confidence in her.
Do you think that President Trump should remove her from the position? Do you think she should resign?
That's obviously up to the president. But I think we would be better served with new leadership of the department.
And if she doesn't leave on her own volition, or if the president doesn't fire her from the position, would you support something like impeachment?
I have express my lack of confidence in her. And my voice is out there, and we'll see what happens.
And one more question: is it just is this just because of how she handled the Alex Pretti shooting, or do you think that it's a greater
I think that
issue?
As I mentioned to just that reporter there, I think that there are other issues. I supported her. I supported her nomination. I had great hopes for her in the department, and I've been disappointed.
Do you regret that vote?
I just said I have been disappointed.
Got it. Thank you, Senator.
I think that means she regrets it. She said, I just said that I've been disappointed. So a lot of folks are saying that they now regret these votes. They regret voting for this administration. Just like look, I think the Trump people were so great at messaging and getting people like just capitalizing on people's fears and their sort of base instincts, right? That they got people they were able to get people to not look at the true things that the other side was saying, not just the other side, people who were saying that, even Republicans who were saying this is not good for the country to have a Trump presidency. And so that's where that FAFO, F around and find out, came from, because they were able to co-opt Latinos into believing that they weren't going to come after them, that some of them, they were the good ones. We're the good ones. There's no way they're going to come after us because we're trying to get our papers. We're trying to do it right. Or, it doesn't matter. Like maybe someone else in their family, their dad, their grandfather, whatever, came over where it was undocumented and had to go through the entire process. And so it's like, I'm not like them. You always have to, it makes people, it's just human nature. It makes people, people always need, I believe, many people need a mechanism to feel better about themselves, right? And so in order to feel better about yourself, maybe you cozy up to whiteness because you think that if I do go to America or if I assimilate in some way, that I will be somehow indoctrinated into that club. You will never be racist enough. You'll never be bigoted enough. You'll never be any of those things. You're not. That's not a club. You were born into that club, okay? Latinos, Indians, all Black people. And so you always in order to feel better about myself, I'm not like them. I came over legally. Okay. Not everyone is in your situation. And you should know if you came over here that there are hardships from where you came from. Why did you come here if everything was honky-dory? And so it got a lot of people, and then they fucked around and find out all those people like, I will vote for Donald Trump. And then they were like, I need to vote my husband. And so now Republicans are finding out too that they are picking up Republicans and white people and killing them in broad daylight. And now they're finding out what it's like to be Black in America. So this is an F around and find out moment for a lot of people. And hopefully it causes some people, it shakes them into awareness, consciousness, or waking up, which is what the definition of woke is. Hopefully it's you don't see that shit. They don't like you. They don't even like you if you're not like them. And Donald Trump doesn't even like them because they're not like him. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Donald Trump is the gold toilet, skyscraper, seaside resort owner. He don't care about those people. Sure, they can come in. I'm sure he's probably like, oh my God, when this is over, all these people won't be coming to Mar-a-Lago, but they are helping me pay the bills here. Do you think he likes you? Shit. No, he does not. But you're keeping him out of prison. That's it. That is it. So Lisa Murkowski is not the only one. Another Republican, Rand Paul. Listen.
It's President Trump seeming to defend Kristi Noem yesterday. Your thoughts?
I think one of the best things President Trump has done, and really people from across the aisle support, is removing violent people from our cities. So I think that's been a good thing largely, but it can't be done with no rules. And so when people watch that video and the government tells them, well, he was assaulting the police officers, nobody with any objectivity watches that video and believes that's what's happening. As the man retreats, with each altercation, he retreats, and then the woman is thrown violently to the ground, he's thrown to the ground. No American believes that he was assaulting the officers. In fact, the opposite appears to be true. So we have to get some rules of the game, and we can't have the government justifying this type of behavior because the vast majority of Americans think this was unfair, what happened. The intimation, or actually the explicit call to say you don't have a Second Amendment right to carry arms in a protest really flies in the face of most of our Second Amendment community. I can tell you I've been to dozens and dozens of rallies and or protests where people are visibly armed or have concealed carry. So the people who are saying this, we need to get this straight so we can have some kind of awareness if people go to a protest that they know what the rules of the game are. If videoing somebody is an assault, which most people don't believe it is, but that is assault, then people need to know that if you video someone, you could be shot. And so we need a clarification on all of this, and I'm going to reserve judgment on the Secretary for now, but we need to hear from all of the people involved with this. And
So there, Rand Paul, you guys even heard yesterday, you heard Glenn Beck saying, this is not right. I mean, Glenn Beck, and you got all these folks. So if you are a law-abiding citizen, if you're a law-abiding gun conceal or open carry citizen of the United States, and now Donald Trump is saying you can't bring that to a protest, and what about the 2A, the Second Amendment absolutist? So that's why I'm saying this is an FAFO moment for a lot of people. And I hope you guys are listening. If you guys are listening, listen to me, my Latino friends who are watching, Latino Lemonheads, Lemon Nation, Black folks who are in my Indian, all of you who happen to be a minority of some sort. I want you to, because this is what I was trying to say just moments ago. And it may seem harsh, but it is true. And you see the very people that this is talking about, you see them effing around and finding out. And I think this should be a moment of clarity for all of them. Okay? Roll it.
You'll never be racist enough. You'll never be anti-Black enough. You'll never be homophobic enough. You'll never be misogynistic enough. You'll never be successful enough. You'll never be attractive enough. You'll never be rich enough. You'll never be smart enough to outrun the fact that you are not white. I don't care what you do. Whiteness is a club that you are born into, not brought into. Period.
Let's go. Vote for Trump. I we vote for Donald Trump.
And then not long after that, she was crying because her husband was detained and I believe deported. That is the truth. There are people out there who get it. When they get the wake-up call, they heed it. This woman, she was co-opted in the beginning, but then she said, when she's saying what Maya Angelou says, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Here's a Trump voter. This woman knows.
He needs to get his act together, and our representatives here in Iowa need to stop following his lead. I'm not voting Republican again.
Did you ever vote for him?
First time around, and he did a good job, but then he got stupid.
What does that mean?
It means that he just changed, and it's all about him. He thinks he's God, and he's going to take over the world.
Where's the lie? Where is the lie? A word from our sponsors. This episode of the Don Lemon Show is brought to you by Wild Grain. Wild Grain is the first bake from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas. They're all ready in about 25 minutes. I mean, that's amazing. Unlike store-bought bread, wild grain uses simple ingredients that you can pronounce and a slow fermentation process. No preservations, no shortcuts, okay? So their boxes are fully customizable. You can choose a classic variety box, gluten-free, vegan, or their new protein box. It's perfect for quick dinners, weekend brunches, or those cold nights when you want something warm and comforting without the work. So there's something special about having bakery quality bread and pasta ready whenever you need it. And right now, Wild Grain is offering $30 off your first box plus free croissants for life. Can't beat that. Go to wildgrain.com/lemon. Use the promo code LEMON at checkout. We're sponsored today by Incogni, thousands of companies that you have heard of, never heard of. They collect, sell, and they trade your personal data every day. Your name, your address, your phone number, email, even family connections. So when I checked where my information was floating around, I was stunned. Sites I never signed up for had my data sitting out in the open. That's where Incogni comes in. Incogni works to remove your personal information from data broker websites by contacting them directly and demanding removal, and they handle the entire process for you. Their unlimited plan even allows custom removals, giving you deeper protection. So this matters because scammers use this data to make their messages look real, and that's how people get tricked. So take control of your privacy. Go to incogni.com/DonLemon and use the code DonLemon for 60% off. That is incogni.com/DonLemon and use the code DonLemon for 60% off. 60% off. Thank you so much to our sponsors. We appreciate it. Okay, and we are back now. So you guys know, you know what happened with them. You know they're fighting in the White House. They always fight. They're incompetent. We went through all of that. I'm going to show you the dangers, though, that some of our elected officials face. And I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, whether you're Republican, Democrat, MAGA, or whatever, this should not be happening. This is what happened, and we're going to show you a couple of different angles of it. But first, let's show the full attack of the not the one that has a different angles, but the full attack. This is what happened to Congresswoman Ilhan Omar when she was at a podium speaking last night. Someone walked up to her and sprayed her. Here it is.
And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know.
Oh my God, he sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing.
No. You need to go get checked.
No, we will continue. These fucking assholes are not going to get away with it.
You need to go get checked. You don't know what.
So the Congresswoman went on to say that, you can just turn the volume down a little bit. The Congresswoman went on to say that she would finish her speech, and she did. We're not sure what the substance is. One cameraman who was close to it, some of the folks said that it smelled awful. Again, so I hope it's not acid or anything like that, but this is terrible. That none of that should be happening. And so this is different angles. The guy's been arrested. We'll show you his mugshot in a minute. But again, this is what happened to Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know.
Oh my God, he sprayed something on her.
So you can see the Congresswoman, that Congresswoman, she was ready to throw some hands. She is not afraid. And that's what the Trump folks are, why they don't like her. She is not afraid. And he was immediately taken into custody. This is him. Let's see if we have a photograph of him. That is a suspect. Not sure why he did it. It's still being investigated, but he looks like a loon. And I don't know what it is. We've reached out to the Congresswoman's office. There's no new information on it, right? Producers they don't know what the substance is so far. Nobody? Bueller?
Nothing yet.
Okay. Nothing yet. Okay. So that's what happened with the Congresswoman. And then moments after that. Now, do you know that every accusation is a confession, right? I'll tell you about that. Hang on, let's see. Hang on. Okay, there's something new that I haven't, but first, this is what Donald Trump said about the Congresswoman Ilhan Omar after she was attacked by this person. She said, Trump tells ABC News rep Ilhan Omar probably had herself sprayed knowing her. And that's from Kyle Griffin. Now, do you guys remember when people were saying, and even now people believe that the whole Donald Trump attempt shooting was staged and fake? Every time they say something like that, it makes you go, Because every time they accuse someone of something, they're the ones who are doing it. And so now he's accusing her of staging an attack. Is that an admission? Is there a video of Donald Trump saying this? Do we have that or no?
No, we don't.
Okay, because I see something in the notes that says Trump, unless it's something, Trump tells ABC News Omar. No, that's something else. Trump smearing Omar hours before. Oh, this is before the attack. Let's see what he said to her hours before the attack. Did he incite violence on her? Here it is.
Come in. They have to show that they can love our country. They have to be proud. Not like Ilhan Omar. Did you see that wise guy? You know, she's always talking about the Constitution provides me with the following. You know, the Constitution, she comes from a country that's a disaster. So probably it's considered, I think, the worst. It's not even a country, okay? It barely has a government. I don't think it does. They go to one thing, pirates. But they don't do that anymore. You know why? Because they get the same treatment from us as the drug dealers get. Boom, boom, boom. I don't care what ship they're attacking. When they attack, when we say them going in, ping, that's the end of that.
Okay, so then the Congresswoman was attacked, and then now he's saying that he wouldn't be surprised if she staged it. Now, do you guys remember... Oh, let me show this. This is from who? Is this from Lindsay Davis? Who's this from? From the office. Oh, this is Representative Ilhan Omar. The office of Representative Ilhan Omar issued the following statement following the incident in her town hall in North Minneapolis. During her town hall, an agitator tried to attack the Congresswoman by spraying an unknown substance with a syringe. Security and Minneapolis Police Department and the Minneapolis Police Department quickly apprehended the individual. He is now in custody. The Congresswoman is okay. She continued with her town hall because she doesn't let bullies win. Amen. Okay, and then this is, I think, an ABC reporter. Who is it? Is it Rachel or Lindsay? Is there a new one that I saw? There it is, Rachel Scott, great reporter over at the ABC. Just spoke to President Trump. I asked him if he had seen a video of Rep. Omar being attacked and sprayed by a substance. No, I didn't think about her. I think she's a fraud. I really don't think about that. She probably had herself sprayed, knowing her, the president said. I asked again if he had seen the video. I haven't seen it. No. I hope I don't have to bother. Okay. So do you remember after this whole attempt on Donald Trump, everyone's, we got to tone down the rhetoric. We have to stop it. The Democrats have to say, stop calling him fascist and all this stuff and stop talking shit about Donald Trump. And then now he is at a rally denigrating the Congresswoman, saying that she doesn't even come from a real country. This guy walks up to her and says she should be deported or resign or something like that, or leave, whatever he said. And so when they talk about political violence and rhetoric or whatever, they don't have to look far. All they have to do is look to the person who's in the Oval Office. He is the spreader of this. He is the one that ushered in this particular environment that we're in now, of hostility and division and anger. Because for years, Democrats and Republicans, mainly Democrats, have been fighting for comprehensive immigration reform. Comprehensive, not just shut the border down or whatever. how do we fix it so that we allow people who are in need and people who will be good citizens and good stewards of the Constitution, which they're not good stewards of the Constitution, the MAGA Trump regime. How do we allow these people an avenue to come into the country? That's what they've been fighting for. But at every turn, just like sensible gun legislation, Republicans say no. And so now, what do we have? We have rogues, a band of rogues and an uncouth mob out there detaining people without due process, not obeying the Constitution, and killing people. That's what we have now. So this whole era of lawlessness, no accountability, no rules, that's you, Trump. That's you, MAGA. You can thank yourself for that. And so the response, and there will be another Democratic regime or Democratic administration. When that happens, just think about it. What is the biggest fear that white people had and maybe still do is that black people will treat them the way the colonizers or the enslavers treated us, black people, my ancestors, our ancestors. That's a fear. Well, we can't let them gain power because then they might seek retribution. So I believe Republicans and MAGA should think about that, because what happens when Democrats regain control of the government? What if they enact and they behave the exact same way that this administration is behaving? What will you do? How will you feel? What if they say you cannot bring a gun to a certain place? What if they tell you that you cannot protest? You got to put down that AR-15. What if they tell you all of those things? What would you do? What if they tell you they're going to deport your loved ones? What are you going to do? How are you going to feel about that? And that's what you should be thinking about. If you want to know anything about the Don Lemon Show, that's a word for the day. If you want to know anything about the Don Lemon Show, go to donlemon.com. Don't forget to just go donlemon.com, just like the fruit, DONLEMON.com. You can vote for us for 4 NAACP Image Awards, and all you have to do is just follow through on go 1, and then go back out to the Don Lemon Show, then you vote there, and then go back out to the Don Lemon Show 2, vote, go back out to the Don Lemon Show 3, on and on. We've set it up. It's very simple for you. Okay. And then also, as you know, we're going to, D.L. Hughley and I are going to be at the City Winery on the 2nd and on the 3rd and 4th of February. Atlanta sold out. So don't even try. If you want to put on the waiting list, I shouldn't tell you. Maybe you may have some success. I shouldn't tell you that. And I will be covering the Grammys, and we're going to see. Maybe I'll get to meet Bad Bunny, and then the Super Bowl after that. So maybe I'll get to see Bad Bunny and some others. And let me know. So I'll see you back here this evening at Lemon Live at 5 p.m. Eastern time here on the Don Lemon Show on the Don Lemon channel. And until I see you then, I want you to be informed without being inundated, and I want you to turn the TV off. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern time, with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.